Hello everyone, happy Sunday Nunday. I'm a little late, not gonna lie. It has been quite a morning and I almost said, well, you know what, I'm just gonna take the day off, and I decided not to. So here I am. Oh my goodness. So happy Nunday, say hello. Oh, I'm just trying to get this thing fixed. There we go, say hello, come on in. Let's talk about falling apart. Good grief, I was falling apart today. Seriously. I was thinking about, I just want to go back to bed. I had a rotten night. I'm sure you've been there, right? Anyone? Been there, done that? Got the t-shirt? Who's there? Can somebody say hello? Can you hear me, by the way? Got my new little earbud thingies in. If you can hear me, let me know. Hi there, Jennifer. Good to see you. Can you hear me okay? I got my earbuds in, working on the buds. Who else is here? Let's see who comes in. We can just sit here and sing songs, campfire songs, right? You sounds good. Okay, good. I'm just nervous about these. Somebody was saying yesterday when I was doing the cooking, they couldn't hear me all right, very well. So, hi Cheryl. It's hard to hear me. Everybody else is saying you can hear me. If you can turn yours up. Everything's turned up on my side. Hi Joanne. Hi Evie. Trisha, good to see you. If you can't hear me, you need to turn it up on your side. I've got everything turned up on mine, and everyone is saying that they can hear me, so that's good. Good. This is good. It's so nice not to have a leash. Marla gave me these for my birthday. I feel very spoiled and very loved, so very fun. Hello, Phoebe. I'm so glad everybody's here and that you're out and about on Sunday. Well, I guess you're not. You're home on a Sunday. At some point we will be out again, so. But, I'm thinking about all kinds of fun stuff. When you're in the kitchen, it's not as loud. Well, I'm doing the best that I can with what I got. Hi, Katrina. You're working in the garden to take a coffee break. How fun. I want to be in the garden. We don't have a garden. We just have lots of trees. Anyway, today is Sunday, of course, and we call it Nunday for whatever reason. I used to do that, just like throw on a sweatshirt and show it up. Hey, how was that shepherd's pie last night, by the way? Isn't that so easy? And it's a big, everybody loves it. So yeah, it's a good one. We had that last night too. So our quote of the week, by the way, is to stop wearing your wishbone where your backbone ought to be. That's Elizabeth Gilbert. And of Eat, Pray, Love fame, which that was not my favorite book of hers. I absolutely adored her other book, though, Big Magic. It was amazing. Oh, good, Catherine. She liked it. It turned out great. You guys, yesterday's cooking lesson was shepherd's pie in a skillet and using ground beef and what have you. Ice the whole thing with mashed potatoes, broil it. It's so good. We had that last night, too. It was a fun thing. So today, today we're going to talk about falling apart because, there's been a few people who have some issues, I'm sure. And I've had a little bit of a roller coaster. It's been, who knows how to prepare for a pandemic, right? Who knows how to prepare for all this garbage? Nobody. All we know is that, we're here, we're in this situation, and we got to deal with it. That's all I've been doing is just dealing with it as best I can, and I will say for me, honestly, it has been less disruptive than for a whole lot of people. As it was, I already was working at home. I just added a whole lot more stuff in that I'm doing because I'm trying to support my audience. I'm trying to support my folks because I get it. We all need this support, don't we? Anyway, you will notice that Jenny is not here today. Jenny is sending her son off to boot camp. So pray for Jesse, would you? Jesse is her son who is going off to boot camp today. And she is, she's such a wonderful support and just a gem here at Saving Dinner. We really value her input. We value her as a team member here at Saving Dinner. And we value her as a mother, because as a mother, she is, she's raised 3 children. Well, she's raising 3 children, I should say. And this is her oldest going off, Jesse, to boot camp. So give him some love and some prayers and send it all her way, and give, I know her mother's heart must be really torn. You know, it is a thing when you see your child growing and all of that. It's a thing. You celebrate their new independence on one hand, and on the other hand, there's a little part of you inside that cracks and cries and is sad. And I get that. That's how it is as motherhood. This is the only job that I know where you've done a good job when you've worked yourself out of a job, right? Yeah. So anyway, that's our Jenny. Keep her in prayer. Thank you for that. On June 8th, we're going to start our next sprint, y'all. Yahoo! Giddy up. You're going to see some ads. You'll see me. You'll see, even on Instagram, we've got some ads going. But if you see an ad, would you say something nice to that ad? We had a bunch of weirdo trolls kind of start taking our stuff down, just being really awful. And so, you know, I did delete them and all, but it doesn't do much for our ads getting out. So if you could help me out with that, that would be so cool. Just if you see that ad, just like it and say the sprint's the best thing you've ever done in your whole entire life, whatever. We do have a brand new Ships Free supplement. It's called InflaCrusher. You are going to see a blog post on this on Wednesday. Well, actually, a blog post on inflammation on Wednesday, because this is what this is all about, is crushing the inflammation, you know? At this time, in this place, in this part of history, crushing inflammation is pretty important. So take a look at it, read all about our InflaCrusher. It's in the shop, and we would love you, you know, if you want to get that, grab it because it's in the shop. Also Leptofix, which I can't live without, also in the shop. We have Digestzymes back in the shop. Hot Melt Mix 2.0. Okay, you loved the first one, which was a cucumber lime. This one is an orangesicle taste. It's completely different, but it is delicious. And it has the same electrolytes and MCT oil that you need. Also, we have Perfect Paleo Protein, unflavored. We have it in vanilla. And guess what else we have? L-glutamine. I've shown you this before. This is my secret sauce. I take it, I put it in a dish like this. I wet my finger like this. Put it on my finger like that. Gums, teeth, tongue. Cuts off cravings at the knees, right at the knees. So if you have any kind of a craving, any kind of a food addiction, gosh, you know, hey, I can relate. This will kill the sugar addictions and the carb addictions. It just works fabulous. It's a harmless amino acid, and as a matter of fact, it helps to heal your gut. So that's pretty cool. That's what we have. You spend $100 in our shop. For $5, you can get a Mindful mug. You spend $200, I will give you a Mindful mug. Give it to you. And don't forget, if you get our InflaCrusher, put Ships Free in the promo window, and Ships Free means your whole entire order will be free. You will pay no shipping as long as you're here in the United States, and you can fill that cart up. That's what I have to say about it. We also have our Body Clutter Wise Women's, the Core 4 vitamins, all of them. We got them all. And we have the remaining Body Clutter Wise Women's tea. We probably have, I don't know, 5 bags left of this. So first come, first serve. It's going to be 30 days, 45 days before it's back in the shop. We have to get it. We get it directly from the plantation in India. Isn't that cool? It's so neat. I love being able to work directly with people. The people who do this, the people who do the, you know, the custom blends. We worked with a blender for this, the tea blender, and got our custom blend. And you guys all love it, and you're buying 2, 3 more bags at a time. It is the best tea ever. And I have 1 cup every single day with Marla at 3 o'clock. She drinks 3 tea bags a day and drinks it constantly throughout the day. She loves that stuff. I would be not able to sleep. I will not be cooking at 4 p.m. today. I will not be cooking at 4. At 4 o'clock, I'm going to be here on this keyboard working on the book. I made a commitment to Marla, and I'm going to make a commitment to you right now that I will have my part of the book done by May 31st. It's coming up, you guys. But I need to do this. I really need to do this. It's just been too long, and I was going to have it done in March, and then, you know, pandemic, and everything went kind of haywire. So hold my feet to the fire, will you? Also, Friday is Q&A, always Q&A, and if you have a question for nutrition, cooking, what have you, all you have to do is send it in to support@savingdinner.com. In that subject line, put question for Leanne on Friday. It will get to me, and next Friday, I will answer your question. We usually get a whole bunch of really great questions. So I'm excited. I will always get excited about Friday. On Friday morning when I open up the question, my little question box, it's so much fun, I have to tell you. Thank you, Joanne Katrina. Thank you for the support. I'm glad you can't wait for the new book. I cannot wait for the new book to be done. The problem that I've have is that I keep adding new stuff, and I've just got to chill and realize that, well, maybe down the road there'll be another book after that. I don't know. You know, we can't write the tome of all tomes, right? We just need to do what we need to do. So that's what we have. And again, don't forget to keep Jenny in prayer. Keep her son Jesse in prayers. He goes off to boot camp this afternoon. It's a lot, you know, that's a lot. Our children do grow up, and we love them for growing up and having successful lives themselves. But it is a transition, and it's tough. All right. So I found this quote, and I wrote it down, and here I am. I'm going to talk about that. You can hear the chickadees outside. Yes, you can. Sometimes falling apart gives you an opportunity to pick up the pieces you want to get rid of, the ones you don't want, and to rebuild a new you. I thought about this because I thought, well, first of all, I was thinking, you know, pandemic and crazy and all of that, and how we've all been tested with this, haven't we? We've all been tested on having to readjust and having to change things up. You know, I was talking to Mark this morning, and I said, you know, for us, it wasn't that big of a change. I've done a lot more, you know, video and a lot more Facebook Lives and a lot more stuff, you know, and we've had a lot of crazy town stuff happening with supply and all of that. But for us, it wasn't a big change. It wasn't a monumental change like some people, where all of a sudden maybe a spouse lost a job and you're working from home and you've got children and you don't have the support and the help and the babysitting and all the other stuff. I'm thinking about that, and I think about all of those folks every single time I do a Facebook Live for cooking, or even sitting here and talking to you about that. And I think, what's it like to be in those shoes? And I'm really grateful for where I am, and I'm grateful for everything. I feel like God orchestrated this so beautifully. I mean, I'm really grateful for where we are. But I also, my heart goes out for those who've had to make great big adjustments. And you know, we all fall apart from time to time, don't we? We're human beings, and we're not, you know, we want to be resilient. We want to have a backbone and not a wishbone. We want to have all these things, and that's, you know, what we need in order to move forward with our lives. But sometimes there's a breakdown. You know, there's a breakdown. There's just a falling down and sitting on the floor and crying like a 3-year-old. And but sometimes that falling apart is an opportunity to pick up the pieces that you do want and to leave behind the ones you don't want anymore. Because we're always being rebuilt. We're always changing. We're always becoming different. We're never going to be the same from here to there. We're not. And I've told you before, and I shared this on my birthday this week, that one of my goals when, you know, I was turning 62 is I want to turn 62 and be a wise woman. I want to age like fine wine, not like some bitter old boiled broad, you know, who's just horrible. Because you can learn from the stuff that life hands you, or you can become bitter because of it. And you've heard the old analogy of, you know, throwing an egg in some boiling water or throwing carrot in. I want to be like the carrot. I want to get soft. I want to get gentler, and I want to get kinder, and I want to be more empathetic. That's what happens. I think that's what wisdom dictates. But as we're going through it, how do we get through it? You know, what do we do with that when we're just sitting there on the floor in tears, just like a 3-year-old, trying to figure out what to do? Well, I wrote down a couple of things that I thought of off the top of my head, and I want to share them with you. And there's 7 things, and one I'm going to repeat because it's really 6 things, but I say it's 7. The first one, though, is to always remember who you are and what you've been through and how you've been through tough spots before, and this is just has a different circumstances, but you've done it before. That means that you can do it again. That means that the resilience that you don't think you have is there. It's already been tested. Resilience is one of those things that shows up when you go to pull it out. We don't all, have this shiny armor that says, I'm a resilient woman. We don't. But deep down, we do have that resilience. And we can get that resilience back. And I will tell you another thing. That our brains are like a search engine. They're searching constantly for what it is that you're giving it. So when you're grappling with things and you're kind of just, all over and working on it and trying to figure stuff out, if you go into your brain and just say, you know what, we've been here before, maybe not exactly here, maybe not exactly in this place, but we have been in a place where it's required our resilience. We have been in a place before where it's required that we pull ourselves back together. What's that like? Go back to that place because you've already fired and wired that pathway. Unless I'm mistaken and you've somehow managed to get through life unscathed, we've all been here. So remember that. And number 2, this is a good one because this is the big one for me, and I bet you anything when I say this, you guys are all going to say, yeah, that's me. I do that too. And that is, we don't admit it. We don't admit that we're suffering. We don't admit that we're falling apart. What we say is, they say, how are you? And we say, we're fine. Have you done that? Have you said you're fine and you're just not? You're falling apart? And I think, what's required from us on that is to find the person that we can say we're not fine to. Of course, not that we're out on the street talking to everybody anymore, but we can't just tell everybody we're not fine, and we can't, vent our spleen, and we can't just open our kimono and just say, here it all is. I've seen people do that on Facebook, and, there's kind of it's just too much, I don't want to see all of that. I don't want to know all of that about you. And I feel like I'm eavesdropping or, reading somebody that I don't know's diary. That's not right. But it is right to talk to somebody and say, you know what, I'm just not fine. I'm falling apart. Somebody who knows you, somebody who has already spoken to you and you have a relationship with, somebody who loves and cares about you. That's who we need to be talking with. We don't need to be venting. I think venting is such a ridiculous thing. We need to be doing things in a way that, yes, I need to let this out. Yes, I need to share all of this stuff with you. And yes, after I do this, after I have that emotional release, then I'm going to be wanting to start working into the solution-oriented stuff. But for right now, I just need you to know I'm falling apart. And this is what's going on. And this is how I feel. Having that one person is so great. And being able to be the person, if that's you, who is falling apart, to say, I'm just not fine, is a hint of the strength that you have inside. It's okay to say you're not fine, but make sure that you're saying it to the right people or the right person, and keep it that way. And number 3 is don't push so hard. We do this with ourselves, don't we? We're constantly pushing. We're constantly looking for answers. We're looking to get it fixed. We don't like how we feel. We're just going to push, 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 push. And what have I said about that before? You know, we are all builders of a gap. There is a gap between where we are and where we want to go. Always a gap. And it doesn't matter if it's weight loss, your health, your emotional life, the relationships you have in your life, or whatever. We all want to get better. We all want to get over here to this side. So as we're standing in the gap, we have to learn the lessons along the way. That's what creates the bridge. That's what builds the gap. And when we do that, things start to change and we start to see the lessons, and we don't have to do it again. The lessons become learned. Because when we're repeating things over and over and over again, it's very obvious what's going on. It's us saying that to ourselves, I did not learn my lesson. I need to do this again. And anybody here who's been a parent who knows what I'm talking about with a child, right? There is a whole thing with a child that in order to teach them to get over here to this side, you know, they have to learn their lessons several times, don't they? It's not one and done, very few times. It's not one and done. They need the lessons to be taught, and they need the lessons to learn from them so they can move on. This is how 3-year-olds become 4-year-olds, become 5-year-olds, and get better and get more mature with age and become abstract thinkers later on. So we have to look for that too. That's for us too. This is our human condition. We want to get through something. We don't want to have to confront it. We don't want to have to feel the pain. We don't want the hard stuff. We want it to be easy. But that's not the way lessons get learned. And number 4 is when you're going through this, and this is a biggie, you guys. We have to keep up with our routines. Marla calls them routines. I call them rituals. They're rituals because they're bookends for your life. When you have a morning routine and you have an evening routine, keep eating good. Well, you know, don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. Stop eating or binge on sugar or whatever. Just keep eating good, healthy food that's going to keep you feeling good about yourself. Keep exercising, keep hydrating, keep doing the things that you would normally do. Yes, deal with the pain, but don't collapse into the pain and forget about the rest of your life that needs to be lived. Those rituals hold us up. It's a framework for our lives. It helps us to get through, and it helps us to make things better. And it helps us to remind us that the security is something that is, you know, again, a framework for your life. That security is everything. It helps. It gives you an opportunity to see your way out. Number 5, recognize that it's not going to last forever. You know, it might last for a little bit, but it's not going to last forever. Remember, back to number 1, you've been through a time in your life before that was tough and hard, and you had to pull resilience out where you didn't know you had it. And it didn't last forever. The pain subsides. It gets better. It gets easier. With everything. That doesn't mean that, you know, like with a loss of a loved one or whatever, it doesn't mean that that's ever going to go away. It doesn't. It doesn't mean that your loss is ever going to go away or ever going to be diminished or minimized or anything. And I'm not trying to do that right now. I hope nobody is taking that from this. But we have to look at it that the living in the excruciating place of pain is not going to last forever. It will subside a little bit, and it'll probably come roaring back again. But understand the ebb and the flow of pain is what it is. And that is part of the coping mechanism, and it's part of the getting throughness that we need, and it will help. It will help tremendously. And number 6, again, is remember when I said remember who you are and that you've been through this, you're resilient. Also remember who you are, that you are God's child, chosen by Him for a time like this to be in this world right now today. You have a mission, you have a purpose, and even though there is so much going on around you, and even though you feel like it's all falling apart, you're still here for a purpose. It's not a mistake. And remember that. And remember how precious you are. You are the apple of His eye. That's what the Bible tells us. And I believe that with my whole heart. Everyone who's here, everyone who's hearing this message, you are the apple of God's eye. That's critical to know in your knowing. And number 7, believe. Believe that you have the resilience. Believe that you have the support system. Believe that you're a child of God. Believe, believe, believe. Because if there's nothing there, there's belief. If there's just feels like everything is falling apart, you can still believe. And you know what? Tomorrow might be a little bit better. And a little bit is all we need sometimes. Just a little bit. You know, we talk about weight loss. Of course, I have lots of weight loss programs and different things that we do. Pounds are lost by the ounce. And pain is lost by this much at a time. It doesn't just magically disappear. You know, when we're works in progress, and aren't we all? When we're works in progress, it's a little bit here and a little bit there, and we start to build that bridge, that gap, the bridge that we build that takes us over to the gap. And you know, the other thing is we're on the bridge the whole time, building it ourselves with our own materials, with our own experience. That's the way it has to be. Nobody's going to build it for us. We have to be the builders of that bridge. And while that goal looks really nice and comfy and wonderful, it's the experience, it's the journey that builds in the lessons into our lives that makes us wise women, that makes us more loving, more compassionate, more empathetic, more beautiful in God's eyes. Keep that in mind. It's hard. I'm not saying that it's easy. I'm not saying that it's not going to be difficult, that you're not going to have tears, that you're not going to feel awful at times. But it's the truth. You know, this is what it is. This is the human experience. And I believe with my whole heart that if we embrace it and we accept the experience, then we're going to learn the most beautiful lessons along the way and be able to teach them to somebody else. Because that's the way it is. It's just this constant giving circle. I like that idea a lot. So, thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. And I hope that I was of support for you right now. If you'd like to support Saving Dinner with our pandemic pricing, we have dinner answers. It's $7 a month. We send you menus, recipes, shopping lists, any style that you eat, every single Tuesday. You can find it at savingdinner.com, and it's on the website. And it's only $7 a month. We lowered the price to pandemic pricing. So if you support us, we support you right back and help you to get your family situated with dinner. And don't forget, $200 in our shop gets you a Mindful mug. Don't forget, we've got a ton of supplements in stock and just a few bags left of our Body Clutter Wise Women's Tea. Thank you for joining me today. Again, I will not be cooking today, but I will be cooking tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm going to be having tea with Marla today. So I'll see you then. Peace.